everybody. I'm back out here working on this pile. If you watch any of my shorts, you would have seen that I decided to strip all the paint off and just start doing stuff to this thing. So if you haven't seen those, go watch them. But thought I'd give you all a little update on what I've been doing to this thing here. Pretty much just been making a mess of it, doing some amateur body work, but what are you gonna do? So far, underneath this paint, I have found quite a lot more metal than I was expecting. I was expecting a lot of rust, but we got some here, which I'm gonna cut that out. Got a little here, I'm gonna fix that as well. Same with right there. Nothing too bad up top, so that's why I kind of stopped sanding there. I didn't find any rust at all on the hood where I did sand, so I don't think I'm gonna worry about taking all this paint off. I'm just gonna scuff it up and primer over it. I did find some rust up here though. A little bit there, and this is kind of ugly. Somebody did some witchcraft on that thing, but this side's even worse. And there's a hole there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing, because finding a windshield for this thing is pretty much really difficult. And these weather strippings are very hard, well, not very hard to find, but they're very expensive for what they are. So I really don't want to pull this windshield. So I think I'm gonna do the right thing and just fill that full of Bondo, paint right over it. But as far as all the other rust, I've been actually doing it halfway right. There was a big hole there. I cut a big piece of metal out and patched it in. Same with down here on the rocker, there was a big hole there. There's little dents and dings here and there that I've been working on, but the majority of it's pretty solid. There was a little bit there. Again, I cut it and patched it. But really, there's a lot of solid metal on this truck, way more than I was expecting. I was just expecting to find Swiss cheese everywhere. I was expecting the tailgate to just be hardly usable. Main thing that I'm gonna work on today is, see that rear body line on the fender well? That front one, somebody got real carried away and they cut above the body line there, and I don't like it. So I've already done some work on this side and made the body line match. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I'll show you all how I did it. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is get a piece of metal. This is a scrap piece of metal off an air conditioner, actually. I just took one of the service doors off of it and cut it up, and that's what we're using for metal. That stuff is expensive these days. Anyway, I'm just gonna match up these two body lines here, trace it out with a Sharpie. Yeah, now just gonna use some electric shears and cut it. Make sure you use the dullest pair of shears that you could find. Gonna want to tack weld it in. What I like to do is start at one end, get it flush, and work my way around. Don't go from one end to the other. That way you can work it in as you go and make it fit right. Now what I've done here is I tack welded right there at that body line. Now I'm gonna take a hand brake and bend that little curve into the metal. It would be better to have like an actual brake, but I don't have one, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take it, bend it, put it right where that one is, and just give it a little bend. And go down the line like that. So now I'm just going to do a few more tacks. When you're doing these tacks, you don't want to do them like one right after the other like that. You want to kind of space them out a bit, because if you get this metal too hot, it'll be like that when you're done. And I mean, not that it really matters on this truck. I'm not shooting for show truck quality here, but we still don't want to deal with that, so. Lost my Sharpie again, so now I'm down to a pencil. But yeah, next thing I'm gonna do is make a piece to kind of change these angles here, because now they look weird. And I'm gonna do my best to try to make it match the other side. So I'm gonna take some measurements off the front to certain points, and maybe that'll work. But for right now, I'm gonna get this piece in here and get this cut that I need. So that'll fit in there, and then I can draw out on here where I need it to be. Alright, so now that fits in there. I think I might tack weld it and then bust it out of there. The other side I didn't have anything to match to, so I just kind of did whatever I felt like. But this side I got to match to that side, so. Alright, so that idea was stupid. What I'm doing instead, taking this piece, sticking it on there backwards from how it's going to be on the other side, and tracing it. Maybe that'll work. Well, that almost worked. It somehow ended up a little long, so. But I got my marks here, so all I gotta do is trace it there. And now it ought to fit. It's looking pretty good so far. And I'm just gonna have to cut this little bit off with the grinder when I get around to cleaning all this up. Now we're on to this side. I think I'm just gonna do the same thing. That's all I need right there is this little piece. If my calculations are correct, this is all I need. The other side I had to put a big piece in there, but I measured it and it says this is all it needs, so I wouldn't doubt it if they didn't get them the same type of side before. So I don't know why they cut it up so high like that in the first place. They cut these fender wells so big. These tires aren't that big. Even when I had 38s on here, they still looked huge. My only guess is it was probably rusty or something. Mix up some of my favorite stuff here. I really like this blue Bondo better. The red kind doesn't taste that good. This one tastes like blueberry. Just gonna fill in all that messiness that I just made. Bondo and paint will make it what it ain't. Shut up, rooster. A little bit of a hole there. I probably should have filled, but ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. I think That's as good as it's gonna be for right now. I will let this dry and sand it and hopefully make it look better. And that's how you fix your overcut fenders. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave that Bondo looking like that. It'll look more like this side when I'm done. Not that that side's perfect either, but it's good enough for who it's for. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, or I mean, you've made it this far, so you're kind of committed. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if you gave it a like, maybe share it, but you could subscribe if you're not already. But do what you want. Good day.